Looks like we made it here in one piece.
I'm glad I made it in time.
I wish I could use healing arts.
That looks like the Zoogle we were told about. Get lost!
Take this!
Where are you going?
I'll thank you. In a vine?
Hear my call!
Those aren't the
I'm ready!
Piercy, this ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Brace yourself! This one's tough! You picked the wrong fight! Take this! Demon Blade!
Resonate with the earth. Insects should stay on the ground.
Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Stardust!
Can't be stopped!
Flaming Kill! Strike!
Do it!
Demon Fang! Doubly! In an instant! Impact Block!
Resonate with the earth.
Take this!
Radiant Storm!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
All we have to do is get rid of that thing, right?
Not today!
In a bind?
Ow!
The tempest engulfs you!
Carve through armor!
Simian pest. I shall feel you where you stand.
Demon Fang!
Do it! Light
Blow them away!
Glacial spear!
No, you can't! Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
This one's mine!
Execution! I'm not done! Swallow
Do
blade!
it!
Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
We managed to pull through.
Whoa!
There it is. That's our target.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.
We should be able to cook here.
You see anybody around here who could use our help?
We can't chase after every little thing.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Seriously?
Here we go!
Aww.
Good grief. Remind me again why we're all getting soaking wet just to find some fishing hole?
Shh! Some things are better left unquestioned.
But
What?
Something wrong?
no, not at all. Gee, I wonder where that fishing hole could be. This one will be difficult to predict.
This one's mine! Not my watch! Radiant, here!
Demon Fang!
These things really get on my nerves. Here, I can
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Now we can do without this pain. Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Benediction light. An astral arch?
That's my cue.
You picked the wrong fight! Shut him down!
Flame of fury! Burning! Holy land! Hear my call!
You're mine! Fly! Swallow
I'm
blade!
ready! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! Hear me! Flame
Now!
of fury!
Demon Fang!
Flash!
Demon Fang!
Here's not in your dreams!
Here I come! Swallow blade! Demon Fang! Take it!
I'm ready!
Kisara!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclops! Now! You're mine! Devastation! Blazing Falcon! Demon Fang!
In the sky is mine! Flame Blazer! I never miss!
You're finished! Demon Fang!
Now! Ringo! Frozen!
Hammer!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Brace yourself! This one's tough! Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Try harder!
Another incantation ruined. The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration! Regenerate!
Hear my call! Ready!
Allow me to help. Calamity!
Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Confiscated!
Demon Fang!
Healing circle!
I'm in your debt.
You're mine! Demon Fang!
Radiant light! Force of
Demon Fang!
regeneration!
Enough the flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Don't suffer in silence.
Illuminate the
After being interrupted.
Holy land! Here's evil!
Eat dirt!
Some punishment?
You'll pay for that!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
I'll bring you back from death to bear!
Demon Fang! Swallow Blade!
Let them
Drive
move
Demon
now!
Fang! Live up!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Here, let me help!
My turn! Demon Fang!
This one's mine!
Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Lightning orbs! Healing
Demon
of the
Fang!
dead! Ready! Fierce flame!
Thanks.
Back into the fray!
Demon
Not
Fang!
in your dreams! By the power of water!
This is looking good! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help! Fierce flame! Long flight! It's over! Here goes! Let the way!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Let me
See what I can do!
Holy land!
Swallow Blade!
Water! Hear my
Demon
call!
Fang!
I'm ready!
Doeling! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
Dance in the wind!
My turn! Catapult! Demon Fang!
Here! Do it! Photon flat! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
I need to be stronger.
really bad feeling about this.
Demon Fang!
In here!
Swallow Blade! You're mine! Demon Fang! That button is driving me mad! Demon Fang!
In here!
You're mine!
Flying free!
Just sit still! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
Barely a blip on our radar.
This cavern is surprisingly big. Not to mention nice and cool, too.
The way the light from the glowing stones reflects in the water, it almost feels like a dream.
What, this damp and slimy place? Are we looking at the same thing?
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Take it out!
I never miss! Holy land!
Demon Fang!
Shattering the pieces! I'm ready!
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Lightning!
Not a chance!
Swallow
Now!
Blade! Kitara! All yours, Kitara!
Now! Devastation!
Blackened blade!
Rising Falcon!
I'm ready!
Demon Fang!
Frozen!
Hammer!
I can feel my power growing!
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
No escape!
Not on my watch!
I'm not done!
Radiant
Demon Fang! Take this!
Where are you going?
I'm not done! It's on! Demon Fang!
Hear my
Ah! Eat dirt! You're mine!
Here's evil!
Demon armor 160! Here I come! Swallow Blade! Slash!
Great.
Illuminate the dark!
The enemy reveals ours too.
We'll soon see about that!
I've used too much. Take this!
Lunar corruption! Photon blast! Illuminate the dark! Come
Swallow
forth! I'll
Blade!
heal you all!
Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Lost! Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
Here's a healing arm!
My turn!
Lightning egg! Raging
Can't move!
I couldn't make it in time.
No, it won't end like this.
No art being interrupted.
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare the Malika! I can't lose.
Shine! Radiant light! Full
Leave
regeneration!
No!
Shine!
Reload!
Radiant light! Look sharp of regeneration! Regenerate! I'm ready to go!
Too much to handle.
All right, let me out.
Flaming meteor!
I'm taking too many hits. This is some punishment.
Hear my call. Light. Incandescent. Thunderblade. Now. Here's the evil. If it's in the sky, it's mine.
No rest. Witch, forgive me. This is my fault. Eagle Ray!
Ready to go.
No further.
Flame of fury. Burning.
An outstanding effect.
Ready to go. Resuscitation.
I'll tear you
Ready to
apart!
go. Still got some fight left in me. Searing flame.
No, it won't end like this.
Come on!
I'll
You have to
smash
hold
you!
on.
Look sharp! Ha! That's it! Far enough!
Going in.
Now I'm in the
Ready.
groove! Rip and tear!
I got you.
Whirlwind snap! All right. These things have got your name on them!
Not like this.
Hurricane! Burn!
And you.
Leave on light.
Hurricane!
Holy
That freaking does it!
resuscitation.
Here, let me help. I have to train harder.
Look sharp! Swallow dance! That's it! Their arcs were interrupted! Eat this!
Better.
Just the dust! Flaming meteor!
Holy
This
light.
one is mine!
Going in.
I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this. Deus Roar! Mega Ray!
Look sharp! Go again!
Mega Ray!
Flaming meteor!
Illuminate the dark! I never miss! Holy
Eat
confiscated!
That's enough!
Here, take this! Here's
Going
your
in.
first aid!
I'll smash you! That's it!
Lightning condemned!
Look sharp! That freaking does it!
Illuminate the dark!
That's it! Go again!
Holy
Hold
Ray!
on!
Now!
That's it! First strike!
This one's mine!
Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang!
These bad guys really don't mess around.
You guys want to rest here? You can never be too prepared. But did we have to? Alphen, do you understand what's on the line here?
What?
The fish, Alphen. With all these Zeugles around, nobody can give them a good home. Namely, my stomach.
Shion, we can't rush this. If there's a big-time Zeugle waiting for us, we've got to be prepared.
You've got a point.
We can't let some dumb Zeugle beat us. Not with these fish at stake.
I'm pretty sure we're all in it to win it here.
That was nothing.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Thinking some more about how to realize your ideals?
No. Actually, I've been trying not to obsess about it as much as before. I find when I think too much about my ideals, I get hung up on the reality of things and lose sight of what's really important. I know what it's like to go hungry, to lose your family. That should be reason enough to fight for a better society, so nobody else has to. Sorry about that.
Even thinking about things will make you hungry after a while. You wait here. I'll go whip something up for you.
Thanks for the food.
What's so funny?
Nothing. Just impressed at how good of a cook you've become.
Well, we've been on this journey for a while now, so I've had more than a few opportunities to hone my skills.
Yeah, and now I have a good meal in me. There's a simple kind of happiness that comes with that, you know? One that's more powerful and convincing than complicated logic can be.
That reminds me of something Law said, about how talking too much doesn't put food in people's stomachs.
That sounds like Law. But it's true nonetheless. When you get down to it, all you really need is enough food to keep you full and to be surrounded by people you love. Everything else comes second.
Speaking of people you love, I haven't heard you talk about Miguel much lately.
Wow, okay. Way to make me feel like the worst sister ever. But you're right, I haven't. If I'm honest, I think it's because I finally found other people I love just as much. Whatever kind of society we end up having after this, it needs to be a place where I know you all can be happy. That's my starting point for now. Don't worry. Once I finish folding these clothes, I'll go to sleep. Before we go, do you guys have everything? Did we really just spend that much money?
I've got a bad feeling about this one.
Me too. Better keep our distance.
We'll kick your ass later, buddy!
So this...
He's the one who polluted the pond! Consider this payback for all those fish!
Here I come!
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that. It's raining globs of slime. Gross.
I'll take out as many as I can!
Incantation ruined.
More where that came from!
On your
Light
Stay away from my friend! Not today!
Where are you going?
Here I come!
Now you see what I can do!
I'll bring you back to illuminate the dark!
This should do it!
Holy land!
Swallow Blade! Double Demon Fang!
Force of regeneration!
No more playing nice!
Forgive me. This is my fault. Let us take to the fray.
Here's no wait!
Here I come! Slash! Swallow Blade!
Everlast, take this! Ready and ready! I'll smash you!
I'm not
Resonate
done!
with the earth!
I'm not done!
This is some punishment.
It's gonna attack!
Right, watch out!
Is this it?
No rest for the wicked.
Begin! I'll let the marksman handle it. Thunderblade! Illuminate the dark! Magic is
Shine!
there! Holy
Radiant
land!
light!
Not
Force
done
of
yet.
regeneration! Shine! Radiant light!
Take this!
Force of
Where are you
regeneration!
going?
Demon Fang!
Regenerate!
Thunderblade!
It's on! No escape! Ignite!
I'll smash you!
Take this!
Can't be happening!
Couldn't make it.
Ready to go! Sleep now. I'll bring you back from death to paradise. I'll bring you back from death to paradise.
From beyond, in fear.
Here's
Not
evil.
done yet.
Raging Cascade! Raging Cascade! And not in your dreams!
Captivity!
Water astral energy! Healing
Take this! Demon Fang!
Raging Cascade!
No! Can't end here!
Shattering the
It's in your hands now.
I can carve through armor!
Resuscitation! New sunlight! I still got some fight left in me.
No rest for the wicked. Demon Rat!
No further. You'll pay for that! This should do it!
No rest for the wicked. I'll face you!
You're mine!
Rotating
Strike!
Fireball!
Demon Fang!
Tornado Drive!
No escape!
Denied! Take this!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with life.
Demon Fang! I can't move!
Can't lose.
Heal!
Lightning raging
From
cascade.
beyond,
Here
imbue
goes.
this...
I'll turn you over the sapphire.
Not done yet!
Shot. Raging let the marksman handle. Here! First aid! More for the stockpile!
Eternal devastation!
Mom! Dad!
Be still! Hurricane Thrust! This one's mine!
This can't be happening!
Dance on the wind!
Severing Wind! Devastation!
I can carve through armor far enough!
No! Can't end here!
Now or never. From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love.
No further.
Come on! You have
Still got some fight left in me. Take care of Pluto.
Flaming meteor!
Light up the dark! I'm ready to go!
Time to
Sloppy! First strike! Go away! I'm on it! Almost! You're wide open! Anything in armor is all mine! That freaking does it! Now you see what I can do! Here we go! That's much better. Too slow! Eat this! Talon Storm! I felt fine not too long ago. I've let you all down.
So this...
He's the one who polluted the pond! Consider this payback for all those fish!
Try harder!
Shield from
Go for the weak point!
Demon Fang!
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that. It's raining blobs of slime. Gross!
I'll take out as many as I can!
You're mine! It comes!
Can't get out of this!
Strike!
Gemini Ultra!
Not today!
Mega Ray! Gemini Ultra!
Now you see what I can do! Elusive
You're
deity!
mine!
Where are you going?
Eagle Ray!
Here, let me help! First aid! Take... No, it won't end like this.
Stay away from my friends!
Elusive deity!
First aid! Lightning condemned!
Slash! Hitting
Demon
fire!
Fang!
Illuminated flame! I'll heal you all!
You're mine!
Slash!
Healing
Looking
can't
good.
be happening!
I owe you one.
Thunder
Take
field!
this!
No! Can't get... Here!
Elusive deity! Demon Lash! Eat one!
Ready to go! Seal!
Shine! Radiant light! Benediction light!
Dance in the wind!
Heal!
Air thrust!
No,
Like astral energy!
you pay for that!
From beyond, imbue this
Downward
ritual!
supernova!
Swallow Blade!
Failure's not
Armor won't save you!
better!
Resuscitation!
Can't lose!
This
Not
one's
on
all
my
mine!
watch! I'll heal you all!
Ha! Eat dirt!
Chinese supernova!
Here I come! Demon
Where
Fang!
would that came from? I'll bring you back from
Here I
illuminated
come!
dark! Holy crap! Holy land! Here, let me help! First aid!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Reload! I'm out of ammo!
I'll grind you into dust! Captivity!
Resuscitation! Back into the fray!
Not done yet!
On your knees.
I've still got some fight left in me!
This is some punishment.
Lightning orb! Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Anything in armor is all mine!
I can't breathe! Tiger blade! First aid! Ground and pearl! Lunar
Here I
corruption!
come! Swallow
Lunar
Blade!
blast! This
Here!
one! Here, let me help.
Demon Fang!
Eat dirt! Radiant!
Not
This
like
one's
this.
mine! Oh, that move!
Here comes a big one!
No! Ready to go! I'll bring you back from death to bed! I can't heal you forever! Lightning can't be happening! Let me go! Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy glimpse! Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy glimpse! Lunar blast! Back into the fray!
Take this!
Ready to go!
Swallow Blade! Demon Fang! There! This one's all mine!
I'll tear
Ignite!
Now you see what I can do!
Take this! Demon Flash!
Now I'm in trouble!
Sleep now. I'll be saving this one. Healing circle.
That is the spot!
I owe you one.
Raging storm.
Demon Flash! Here I come! I'm not done! Strike!
Dance in the wind.
I'm just getting started!
I'll be saving this one.
I'm on!
Not on my watch.
Demon Fang!
Swallow dead!
Can't be swallowed.
Take this!
More where that came from. Water escalator. First aid.
I owe you
Not
this
on my watch. Glacial speed. Pierce either.
Now you see what I can do!
Hydration orb.
Demon
Freeze where
Fang!
that came from.
Whirlwind snap!
Take this!
Sleep now.
Escape!
First aid.
Swallow Blade!
More for the
Is this what real pain feels like?
Supernova. Lunar blast. Arc field.
Shouldn't have messed with me!
Death's abyss. Spread. Dance in the wind. Reveal.
No, it won't end like this.
Not done yet!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Talon storm!
Steel force. More where that came from.
No, won't give in. I'm on Talon storm! Watch it! Here we go again! Whirlwind smash! Not my finest.
A new lease on life.
This should do it!
Annihilation. Mega ray.
It's gonna attack!
Right. Watch out.
Try harder! Hut! Hut!
Resuscitation. Ready to go. I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Resuscitation. Dance in the wind.
You're mine!
It's weakened.
Swallow this ends now! Demon Fang! Blue escape!
I never miss.
Blue escape! Demon Song! Burn!
Here I come.
You're mine! Demon Fang!
Raging storm.
Armor won't save you!
Here's a healing arc.
I owe you one.
Flame of spirit. Burning strike. Here I
Demon
come.
Fang!
Not my finest.
Here's a healing
Demon
arc.
Fang!
First aid. I'll bring you back from death's abyss. Purge malevolence. Arctic waterfall. In here. I'll be saving this one. By the power of
No rest for the wicked.
annihilation. I'll finish you here
No further!
Wind escalator.
No! Can't end... Here!
Dad.
Shine, radiant light, force of regeneration. Regenerate.
Thanks!
Another incantation ruined.
Demon Fang!
I'll heal you all.
Captivate.
Can't be happening.
I couldn't make it in time. Storm. From beyond. Imbue this vanquished soul with life. Now we get the groove. I owe you the art of being interrupted. Eat this!
This is some punishment.
Not my finest.
Demon Fang!
It's over!
No! Can't end here!
Power up water! I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss! Reach the
We should be able to cook here.
We've reached our destination.
Just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head to...
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renan rule, I'm up to my ears in Dahnan disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegis.
Lenegis? Are you out of your damn mind?
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Oh, I believe it. Well, either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. There's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
Well, I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way.
Hmm.
All right.
I guess...
Right.
I didn't like the sound of that monster Nath was talking about one bit.
Well, we have to press on. We're going through Zion Mine to Berg Volcano. Let's move.
Everything okay with Hootle, Rinwell? He seems kinda out of spirits.
It must be the heat getting to him. We don't get these kind of temperatures back in Cyslodia.
Galaglians born and raised here struggle with it too, so it's no surprise.
Aha! So that's why his plumage is so white. He was born in a winter wonderland.
Actually, Dan and owls absorb the astral energy of whatever land they're raised in. Where they're born doesn't affect their appearance at all. But that's not why he's white. The real reason is that he's still just a baby.
You mean their plumage changes color depending on where they grow up? Weird.
And with all this traveling we've been doing, it wouldn't surprise me if his wings ended up looking like a colorful painting.
I think he suits his snowy complexion. It'll feel strange to see him change.
How awesome would it be if his head and wings were different colors? And his stomach and sides, like a map of our travels! Ow, lay off, will ya? So much for the heat making him docile!
You've only yourself to blame for that one. Hootle takes pride in his appearance, you know.
Fascinating. An appreciation of aesthetic beauty in an owlet so young.
Dohalim, I think you've drawn his attention. We should be able to cook here.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law. So hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship. And fast!
Huh. You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much. Discourteous, aren't you? Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Here I come! Swallow Blade!
It's a symbol of the aqua!
Double Demon Fang!
Into the wind! Burning
Free! The enemy deals arms too.
Can you take care of them?
No,
In an instant! Impact Block!
We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Stardust! Devastation!
Illuminator down!
Rending light!
Holy land!
This one's all mine! Demon Fang!
Now!
Xeon!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
Go no further!
Here I come! Burn in hell! Come
Hold
on,
on
come
to your
on!
going. Here I come!
Can you take it?
Hey, Drinking Lord! Dance in the wind! Annihilation! You have to aim for the bright area on their back!
Blazing you apart! Rollerblade! Bloody Demon Fang!
Exploit the enemy's weakness.
An astral art?
That's my cue.
No armor! Shut him down! Demon Fang!
Like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it!
Demon Fang!
Now!
Domi! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Rollerblade! This one's all mine! Ah, burn!
Here's a healing art!
You're mine!
First aid!
Thanks! Demon Fang!
Captivity!
No escape! No escape!
Annihilation!
You're mine!
Ready!
Demon Fang!
Now! Astral energy!
Say no more! Now! Here I come!
Can you take it?
Demon Fang!
Eliminate the story! Here's evil! Ready to go! Freeze
Rollerblade! We did it!
As impressive as always. No, I mean, you're even better than ever. I know fine weapon material when I see it.
My word. This must be the work of Providence.
Prava what now?
It means destiny. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration, though. My face is starting to sting. And my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Xeon? Oh, wait. You're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Forgive you!
Take this! Demon Fang!
Armor won't save you! Stalagmite!
Strike!
Your hide is thick as armoring!
Aim for the weak spot!
Boost of regeneration!
Demon Fang! It'll come
Split it
through!
open!
Be my guest! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Take this! Not today!
Leave the enemy's art to me!
No place here!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Here I
Far enough!
struck!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
Try harder! You're mine! Swallow blade!
Take this! On your knees.
Damn it!
Now you see what I can do!
Gemini Aqua!
Can't get out of this!
Take this! Demon Fang!
Annihilation! In here!
Captivity!
You're mine!
The everlasting
Swallow
dark.
blade!
Negative
Demon
death.
Fang!
Your arts are really incredible.
It's thanks to you I can use
Eat
them.
dirt!
Then I promise I'll always be here.
You fight better at a distance.
Swallow
The
blade!
further away, the better. You and I both.
Swallow blade! Demon Fang!
Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
So I still had room to grow.
This might... be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me. Yeah.
Gotta break through! Here I come! Demon Fang!
Take
Not
that!
on my watch! Lunar corruption!
Blue escape!
Take it!
Slap!
Elusive
Swallow
deity.
blade!
Dance to
Demon
the wind!
Fang!
Air thrust! Too much to handle?
Where are you
going?
We've got flyers!
I'm done! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! I'll take you all on! It's on! Demon Fang!
Dance in the wind!
You're mine! Demon Fang! Blue escape! It's over! Here I come! Blue escape!
This'll come in handy!
Demon Fang!
First aid! Can't hit me! Pierce
Pile driver!
You're mine! Demon Fang!
Now!
Live up!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
Slash! Swallow blade!
The heavens must be smiling.
This bridge will hold itself together, right?
Most definitely. Though I won't make any promises.
Which one is it?
Let's see what you've got.
Spear! Pierce evil!
I'll smash you!
You're mine!
Thunder Blaze Lancer!
You're mine!
If it curls up, time to get out of the way.
Okay, here I go!
They smite with this. I'll bash in their defenses!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Shine!
Demon
Radiant
Fang!
light! Force of regeneration!
I'll stop it! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go! A flawless victory!
Demon Fang!
Naturally!
Demon Fang!
Can't be stopped!
I'm in your debt, Gohan.
Then tonight's meal is on you.
You got it.
Take that! Dance in the wind! Here I go!
Demon Fang!
I'm ready!
Stop! Demon's descent!
Flashing Fang!
Looks like we got them all.
Here's evil!
Seismic rupture! Slash!
Freeze
Are
laser!
those rocks its skin?
Demon fang!
Annihilation!
Demon
Energy!
blood!
Aim for the weak
Right
spot!
here!
Eagle ray!
Raging
Here I
cascade!
come!
Glacial
Take
spear!
it!
Here's evil! Blah, blah, blah! Flame of fury! In here!
Demon fang!
Glacial spear! Here's evil!
Swallow blade! Slash!
Freeze laser! Wind astral energy!
Swallow
Alright,
blade!
it's their time!
Do it!
Lock!
Now!
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
Hey! Squirtle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky! It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
Exactly. So don't try anything funny. Especially you, Law. No pushing anyone, not even as a joke.
I'm not a little kid!
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
Not necessarily. Both of them contain Earth astral energy. Luckily for me, this area is rich not only in fire energy, but Earth as well.
Coming through!
Water, hear my
I
call!
can carve through armor!
No escape! Burn it hell!
Here's the evil!
Can't get out of this!
You're mine! Demon fang!
This one's mine! The flashing parts are weak point!
Demon fang! Struck!
Heal!
Slash! Swallow blade!
Lightning!
Slash!
Downfall!
Faint in blood! Burning you apart!
Try harder! Now! You're mine!
Is this what real pain feels like? This is some punishment.
Take this!
Failure's not an option!
I owe you one.
Don't get in my way! I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Just what the doctor ordered! I can't hold on much longer!
Now you see what I can do!
Here I
They're
come!
all coming after me!
I'm coming, Rinwell.
I'm not scared! I'm totally fine!
I'm ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
They're surrounding
No
us!
chance! Demon fang!
Not on my watch!
Take this! Slash!
There! Got
No! Can't end here!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite!
Not done yet!
No more playing nice! Glacial spear!
Take this! Demon fang!
What astral energy? Where are you going?
I'm not done! Demon fang!
In here!
I hope this medicine works.
Now! Astral energy!
Say no more! Shot!
This is done!
You're mine! It's time!
Armor won't save you!
I'm not done! No escape! Swallow blade! Demon fang!
I'm expert coming through!
You're finished!
Get on in there with the... Radiant pierce! I'll heal you all!
You're mine! Demon fang!
Photon blast! Illuminate the dark!
Swallow blade! Okay, here I go!
Now!
Demon fang!
Mega
You picked the wrong fight! Demon fang!
Deity!
Dance in the
Swallow
wind!
blade!
Mega ray!
Everlasting shock!
Primed and lit!
Slash!
Resonate
Swallow
with the
blade!
earth!
Slash!
Corruption!
How odd to being interrupted.
By the power of water! Purge the level! This one's mine! Waterfall!
Swallow blade!
Let us take to the
Freeze
fray!
Lancer!
Slash!
Dance
Swallow
Take to the flame! Blood! Rending you apart! Bloody howling!
More with that kick!
Negative gate! I'm ready!
Out of ammo!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around.
No!
Certainly not.
Demon Fang!
These bad guys really don't mess around.
Go no further!
Water! Hear my
Here I come! Swallow Blade! Swallow Blade!
On your knees!
Glacial Spear!
Demon
Here,
Fang!
everyone, get back! It's too
The
dangerous!
flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Go for the weak point!
Thrust!
Raging Storm!
Select there!
One more! I'm only
Swallow
getting
blade.
started!
Strike.
Hey!
Demon Fang!
Photon! Hard
Take this.
Magic Exam!
Swallow Blade!
In here!
Elusive
deity.
Flame of Fury!
Soaring
Eat dirt!
One more time!
Here I come! Thrust! Demon
I'll
Fang!
face you!
Look sharp!
Lightning Thunder Blade!
I'm ready for the next battle.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on.
Let's go! You have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone!
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared!
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogle?
Take care of them while keeping an eye on it.
Take this! Slash!
I'll stop its charge.
Thanks, Kisara!
I shall ensure you survive this.
Thank you, Dohoney.
I only did what any other would.
Demon Fang!
I think you're nicer than you let on.
Healing
Here I come!
No, it won't end
Demon
like
Fang!
this.
Stay away from my friend!
Field! Raging
Some punishment?
More for the stockpile!
The flame inside! Yours to be let free!
From beyond!
Imbue this vanquished soul with life.
Now you see what I can do!
Far enough! Focus!
I can't lose.
Thunder
Demon Fang! Take this!
I'll heal you all!
Ignite! You're mine! Demon Fang! Swallow Blade!
Thanks, Xion.
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
I'll heal you all! Lightning orb! Healing execution! Thunderclap! Illuminate the sky!
Swallow Blade! Demon Fang!
Ready and rare!
Freeze Lancer!
I'll smash you!
Demon Fang!
Glacial Spear! Take this!
Raging Storm!
Demon Fang!
Freeze Lancer!
Take this!
A thrilling performance.
Swallow Blade!
Ready to go!
Swallow Blade! This one's all mine!
Water! Hear my attack!
Swallow Blade!
Begin!
I'll be saving this!
Soaring Blast!
Burn in hell!
Glacial Spear! Here's the evil!
Shine!
This one's mine!
Force of regeneration!
Holy Land!
Regenerate! Don't suffer in silence!
More healing arts!
Everlasting
Swallow Blade! Slash!
Negative gate!
Demon Fang!
Elusive deity! Ready and ready!
Swallow Blade!
Elusive deity! I'll smash you!
Swallow Blade!
Soaring Blast!
I'm out of ammo!
Shine!
Demon
Radiant
Fang!
light! Force of
Try
regeneration!
Regenerate!
Suffer in silence!
Maybe show Kisara a little kindness, huh?
She is strong. She can handle herself.
You can be really dense, Dohalim.
Thunderfield! Raging healing circle!
Raging bloody howling!
Swallow Blade! Thanks!
Denied!
I never miss!
Swallow Blade!
Reflect thy sins. They
Demon
smite with
Fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help!
ready and ready!
I'm in your deck, Dohalim.
It's wide open!
You won't escape me!
Dohalim! In an instant! Impact block!
We work well together.
Like a finely timed bomb.
Demon Fang!
Elusive
There you
deity!
go! Soaring blood! More for the stockpile! Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy Land! I'm out of ammo!
Swallow Blade! Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
Get on in there with the others!
This is some punishment.
More with that! Illuminate the
Demon
dark!
Fang!
Come forth!
Now! Law! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Pride is my downfall.
This one's all mine!
Nothing gets by me! Here come more!
We'll just have to keep fighting. The enemy wields our
Hold on
truth.
here. We'll soon see about that.
Burn in hell! Swallow Blade!
In here!
Demon Fang!
Get on in there with the others! Flame of fury! Burning
Here I come!
one at a time!
It's in your hands now.
Now you'll pay for that!
Gale Force! This one's mine!
Take this!
This is it!
Demon Fang!
Drinking orb! I'll bring you back from death!
I'll smash you!
No escape! Swallow Blade! Demon Fang! Burn in hell!
Here goes!
Demon Fang!
Healing circle! One at a
Okay,
time!
here I go!
I owe you, Xion. Healing is what my arts do best. All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction.
Demon Fang!
Do it!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
My turn! Start up!
Eat dirt!
It's go time!
Illuminate the dark! Come forward! Holy Glimmer!
Bloody howling!
Swallow Blade!
Air pressure!
That did it.
Reinforcements incoming!
Not a problem.
Take it!
Not on my watch.
Demon Fang!
Water astral energy. Annihilation. Let's go.
Here I come! Flash! I'm ready!
All yours, Kisara. Benediction light.
My turn!
Water. Hear my call.
You picked the wrong fight!
Blood. In here.
Denied!
Glacial spear. Piercing
Demon
bolt. Not
Fang!
in your dreams.
No escape! Swallow Blade! Flash! Swallow Blade! Try harder!
Too much to handle. Illuminate the world.
No. It must end like
Swallow
this.
Blade!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Demon Fang! We're not done! Flash! Swallow Blade!
Another incantation. Do it.
This one's all mine! Burn it hell!
Thanks for the healing. Watch yourself, okay? Yeah, you too.
Demon Fang!
You're really, really strong, Alphen.
I'm just trying to do the best I can.
Still, reassuring to have you around. As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was
Now! No! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Now!
They're all coming after me!
I'm coming, Manuel!
I'm not scared. I'm totally fine.
Far enough!
Take
My
this!
astral energy to the wind!
Here.
Burn it hell!
Armor won't save
In
you!
here!
I owe you one!
Get on in there with the others! Raging Cascade!
Swallow Blade! Demon Fang!
One more time!
Take this!
Annihilation.
Flash! Demon Fang!
Simply incredible. Negative gate. On your
Swallow Blade! Demon Fang!
By the power of water.
Swallow Blade!
shine. Radiant light. Force of
Not
regeneration.
on my watch.
Take this!
Allow me
Flash! The
This
flame
one's
inside me!
mine.
Yours to be let free! You picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang!
I can carve through armor.
No escape!
It looks like you
Demon
have
Fang!
this covered.
Back into the fray.
Swallow Blade! You're finished!
I couldn't make it in
I'll
time.
bring you back from death's abyss.
Heal.
Resuscitation.
Here I come!
Lunar corruption.
Swallow Blade!
Lunar breath. Back into the fray.
Double Demon Fang! Try harder! Take this! Now, call it freely!
Take it down.
Demon Fang!
Illuminate the dark.
The flame inside me! Yours to be let free! Demon
Now.
Fang!
Astral energy. Full throttle. Go! A flawless victory.
Shattering the
Naturally, I can't hold on much longer.
Here I come!
Take this.
If it's in the sky, it's mine.
Ready. It's about to strike.
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat, not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe.
First aid.
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it. Just watch and learn. That's enough! Go back down!
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
So I still had room to grow.
Hey, is that it over there?
Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
3 centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave. We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
Funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Shion? Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off on her own? Shion. Shion!
It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shionne. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shionne, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens...
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Dahnans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shionne!
Help me.
Living for the sake of dying is no
better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Elfin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen! We can fight this! Fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys... You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Well, that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Xion in Pelegion. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Xion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Xion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Xion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it. Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Xion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Xion's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her. No matter what.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Dahnans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the Blazing Sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renins. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then, I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis. I'm impressed how well... balance this thing in. Yes.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shionne's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shionne? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though. You too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you've finished looking around the ship.
I'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched, helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shionne. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Dahnan victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean... you were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Dahnans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dahna. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dahna even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Dahnan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shionne?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this Red Woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That Red Woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them. There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this Red Woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a Sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. A capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back?
You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the Wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit? The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Dahnan. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go. One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renins oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Dahnan city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alphen and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, their sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renin society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almeidria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renins in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Hmm?
Yes! Yes!
Falstaff had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ganabelt was so horrible to people, yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.